It's time for bookkeeping, beer, and BS. I was pulling up the labor report here on my other screen and just kind of reading through what came out last week. And I know you did a little live show on blue collar recruiting and you were kind of talking about it. So I want you to reiterate some of that stuff for us. But it does seem from our businesses and just from what I've seen from bookkeeping clients of ours that are growing, that the squeeze is a little bit over. I remember like pre-COVID, it was like super, super tight unemployment. I think lower than 3.6 even. There were good people out there, but it was super expensive to find them. I remember us spending $4,000 or $5,000 a month in some locations. And it seems like we're seeing more. I mean, it's still a tough labor market. There's still a lot of no shows and no calls. And I think part of that's the labor market. Part of that is just the way the world works now. I think that's a cultural thing. But anecdotally, I would say this floor at 3.6, while like that rate is staying the same of unemployed people, there's more flow, if that makes sense. It seems like there's more people moving between jobs, and that's creating more opportunities for us to find good people. And so I see, and I talk to a ton of business owners, right? Like every week I've got a bunch of like P&L coaching types of calls. I don't talk to as many as Michael or James probably, but I'm seeing the really good leaders crush it because they're totally able to capture the great people that are like flowing through. And I see people that maybe aren't as strong of leaders having trouble finding employees and getting them to stick. And so it's a labor market issue because it's hard to like look in the mirror on that issue. But I'm seeing good operators, good leaders having good success finding employees because it does seem like there's just more flow in that low unemployment rate. That's my anecdote. Is there any logic to that?
Yeah, there is. The number of people quitting jobs is at an all-time high. Not that they're necessarily leaving the labor force, but they're saying, okay, this sucks and there's 10,000 jobs to choose from. And so, interesting enough, I mean, if you look at it, the definition of a recession is 2 negative growth quarters, GDP. And we're in a recession if you go with that definition. And if you don't, you're just being political. That's the definition of a recession. So we're in one.
Last week, you were saying we're going to find out tomorrow if we're in a recession, right? I feel like that was on last week's show. So we found out we are mathematically data-driven are in a recession.
For sure. But the thing about it is, and I kind of mentioned this on my Facebook Live thing, was that I can name off dozens of people I personally know that have gone through 4 or 5 recessions, that have gone through COVID, that have gone through 9/11, and they're still in business and they're still thriving. In fact, a lot of them grow through a recession if it's not a super deep and a super long recession. So those are you still see, restaurants been in business and, for 80 years or 70 years. There's a reason. Those leaders and those managers are understanding how important culture is, how to take care of people, how to lead. And those are the companies that thrive in a recession, because the ones that don't know how to do that or refuse to do it go away. And so the competition gets much, much less for those companies that are outstanding.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Michael, you chimed in. You said absolutely. What are you seeing right now?
Yeah, so I do talk to a lot of people, and it's culture and leadership. It's 100% the combination of success. Is what happens. There's a certain point in time in your business where you don't have the core leadership team in place. I love that Mike Dalkey calls it, that's cash flow purgatory, right? You can't afford these people, so it has to be on you. And if you don't keep your hand on the pulse of what's going on in the culture, a couple bad apples, especially right now when it's relatively easy for an A player to go find a job they enjoy, to just lose that really quickly. And I've seen it just in Conquer with coaching. I mean, some really phenomenal people that just for a 6-week period of time just get a little complacent and things happen. So it's really important that you as a business owner are always staying one level ahead from your ability to lead, because as your business grows, your needs as a leader and your skills as a leader also need to grow with the size of your business. If they don't, you're in trouble.
That's a good point. I think that's why it's like just reading books and listening to podcasts and all that, and just like elevating your own leadership as you go. And James, I know you like thrive in that motivational coaching space. It's like the minute you get complacent is the minute you're just kind of stuck where you're at.
Leadership is the number one bottleneck I see with small business owners. It's 9 times out of 10, it's a leadership issue.